Your first single was the first by a black artist to be played on the white radio station
Yes.
during apartheid.
Yes.
So can you talk to me about that and that feeling and that, of you being such a historic figure?
Well, first of all, I don't think a child who's 12 years old, 13 years old knows it, has any clue of the social impact that he would have had on a society that is completely segregated. And here I come, and I'm right. I'm the young kid, and my first record goes to white radio and gets blown up at white radio, and in black radio, and then I don't think I've ever experienced that type of fame in Africa ever. It just never happened again. I mean, I couldn't go outside. I couldn't walk down the street. I couldn't go into a store without fans just crying and freaking out. And, my mother used to chase the fans from the house. I mean, it was crazy. But every establishment that I played in was whites only, blacks only, coloreds only, Indians only. And so when I won the Grammy in South Africa, it was blacked out by radio, it was blacked out by the media, it was blacked out by television. And being famous and having gold records and having a Grammy, but you still had to go live in your shack in your segregated townships. That had a completely different feeling for me. It started to affect me in a way that I did not even realize while we were going through such crazy uprising. Here was this kid whose voice, was much more of a voice of the weapon that he used was singing, and the power of unity through music, not sort of more of a militant songwriter because I was very young. So it had a great impact on me because I could see the difference of how white artists recorded. White artists had 24-track studios to record in. Black artists had 8-track studios to record in. So I could tell the difference in where we stayed as well. I mean, I toured with some of the top white artists in South Africa promoting our music, but I would have to stay, with people, and they would have to stay in hotels. So, yeah, it's a great. Now now I go home, and I hear the word legend all the time. Iconic and legend. They sort of compare me to Mr. Keller, Mary Makiba, and I'm like, man, I'm alive. I'm not dead. I don't want to hear this legend stuff, but I guess it's a pride that we have. The people they have a sense of pride that their brother, this kid from the township, made it. He's playing the big stage in the United States, and he's still echoing. He's still pronouncing. He's still speaking. He's still proud being South African. He's still he's still giving big ups to Africa through his music and through his legacy. Through his stories. So, and then again, on top of that, I carry a huge responsibility. It's a huge responsibility to maintain a good, clean life as a South African elsewhere, so that the young ones that are coming up can see that you can still be cool and live straight uply good and have a real impact on the music world and the world around you. So I do have sort of a responsibility, for that. But being so young was very confusing, I think, for me. You know what I mean? It was very confusing. It was very disturbing and confusing, because when you've seen the things I've seen, how black people would have to flee the city around 5 p.m. at night because they don't have an identity book with them, and they would just be arrested and thrown in jail for not carrying this passbook, this book that you have to carry with your ID on it. So that was the kind of country it used to be, you know. Now I can sort of go to wine estate, which was predominantly a white wine estate, and I can actually walk into the front of the house and drink wine with the owner, and the owner's boyfriend is gay, or he is married to his husband, and it's an amazing country now. It's like a completely different country. Black-owned wines, and it's a whole nother spirit, but all of those experiences are still with me. So no matter how much the country changes, I'm still very aware of where I am, I can go into a room, I can tell, I don't really feel good in here. I can go into that room, go, yeah, this is perfect, I can hang here. So it teaches you a sensitivity that is quite acute,
And then pivoting back to your album, what do you think is one of the life lessons you learned that you were able to transition into this music? Because you're saying that you've been through a lot, but the album is still happy. Like you weren't beaten down by your story.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know if you attribute that to age or just...
Well, my age is like so stupid, man, because I feel like I'm a kid, you know what I mean? I was just telling Linda, I said, man, I just feel like I'm still kind of young, I just feel like, I don't know what's wrong with me, I mean, look at the way I'm dressing. I'm not dressing like a 57-year-old, It's hot outside, I got a scarf on, man. I feel like I'm Quincy Jones walking around with a scarf all the time. But I think I attribute it to, it's much more simpler now. I keep things very simple, And when I was going through those hard times, I knew exactly where to go. I ran to God, I didn't run to people. I ran into a place like in El Paso where I, took over the music director job for 2 years in El Paso. And that's when I sort of became restored, became whole and healed, And then every Saturday would go there, come back Sunday night, and I did it for like 2 years. And so I think that's where I find it. I find it sort of just being transparent with people. I think that's, if you know me well enough, that's it. I don't want to go to bed still thinking that I have unresolved issues in my brain that I've never talked to anybody. So I'm always like that, I'm always very open about anything that's happening, The good things also, I have 2 good girls, 2 granddaughters. I got a lot of people that love me, so I feel like I can rest my head on some of them, and things are not so cool, but I get over it. God is on my side, so, that's all I needed, because I didn't have to run to other people, except when they see me, they go, oh my God, he looks so sad. He looks really sad, you know what I mean? But the safest place I've ever been and will always be till the day I die is the stage. So that's my safe place. So as long as I can go there, I'm good to go.
And if you can pick one song off of this album that a newbie would listen to and understand the breadth of who you are as an artist, what track would it be?
It will probably be What the World Needs Now. It will probably be that song, because the beat of the song is the heartbeat of Africa. We call it the 6/8 rhythm. So that rhythm is so infectious to us. It just really draws you in, and I think that's the one song that I think really just hits me every time. Yeah.